Hey guys, so today I'm going to be taking my Crested Gecko teddy here that's in a tiny 5-gallon, and I'm going to be moving up to this 20-gallon tall that Darwin was originally in. Now Darwin is my Crested Gecko over here, who's hanging out right there, and this is his 30-gallon vivarium. But I'm going to be setting up this one as a vivarium, and then I'm going to be taking everything out of here. And then I have some mango trees growing in here. I'm probably not going to be planting them in here just because their roots will get kind of crazy, and I don't want to have to dig them out because I knew that I was going to be taking apart this tank soon, so that's why I decided to plant the mango trees in here rather than in a different tank. So I'm going to be taking those and planting them in a pot or something. But for this tank, I don't have a whole lot of plants to put in it. I have all the plants in here besides the mango trees, obviously. I have these right here and those back there. I'm saving those two big ones for a different project, and same with the rest of these plants here. And then pretty much all of these plants are also going into a different project except these spider plants. So as you can see up here, there's also spider plants, and these seem to be doing pretty well, and they're in a terrarium, so I'm sure that they should do just fine in here. So I'm probably going to be planting those like up here in this higher area. So first I'm going to be taking Teddy, sorry, I'm used to saying Darwin, take Teddy out into a different tank. By the way, I've had Teddy, when I put him in this tank, he was half the weight, and he's only grown like half an inch since I've had him. I think I've had him for like close to 4 months now. I could be totally wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that that's how long I've had him. So he's grown a lot. He hasn't grown like lengthwise, but he just looks a lot bigger, and I'm thinking that this tank's just too small for him now. So I will be putting him in some type of container. I'm sure I can find one. I have containers over there. And then I will be taking apart this tank, and I think what I'm going to be doing first is going and getting some clay pellets, because I haven't used those in terrariums yet. I've used them for other people's terrariums, but not my personal terrariums. Like this one has no drainage layer, which honestly I don't see why you need one, considering, I mean, my plants are growing just fine. So I think since I have them, then I'll use them. So I'll go and get some clay pellets to put in the bottom as a drainage layer, and then I'll just start adding dirt. I have tons of dirt over here that I just mixed up. These two, like I think they're about 20 gallons each, tubs, 20, 18 gallons, something like that, are filled with eco earth mixed with leaf compost, mixed with normal compost, mixed with mulch, and then I'm trying to think. That's pretty, and then like normal soil as well. So I'll be using that, and that's what I use for all my tanks, including, you know, this huge iguana tank. So I have everything ready, and then in the bottom of this tub, which is filled with rocks, I kind of need to get these rocks out anyway, but there's other wood. Like this wood's really cool, and I'd like to use this, but I'm going to be using this for a different project. So I'm going to be taking this out, and I might use some in the future if I don't end up using it for the project, because that's a high possibility. Then I will be, I'm going to look, and I think there's some wood that I might want to use down there. And then if not, like I said, I could use this in the future if I don't use it for this huge tank right here. So I went and got clay pellets, like I said, and then I'm starting to take everything out of this tank because now I need dirt, and I want to use all the dirt that was in this tank, and then on top of that I'll put on the new dirt, because this dirt is a lot more moist, and also it has living insects in it. Okay, so now I'm going to be sprinkling, or by sprinkling, I'm going to be dumping in all the old soil, just kind of cover everything, and then put in new soil, because this old soil has different types of, it has springtails and isopods and possibly dubia roaches, because a lot of the times dubia roaches get out from when I'm feeding him. A lot of times I drop them and then they scurry away. So like I found a bunch, as you can see, in his cage, which, you know, doesn't bother me at all. They're basically just clean up crew, and they don't hurt the gecko in any way. So I'll be doing that, and then I will also go through and plant plants, or I'll plant these 2 plants there, and then I will put in the hardscape and stuff. I don't know. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put dirt in, then I'm going to put the hardscape in, and then I'll plant all the plants. But I may plant like one of the big ones in between that process, just because it'll be easier to do it that way. I dumped the old dirt in, then I put in new dirt, and at the same time I put in hardscape and some of the bigger plants, and then I started planting the smaller plants. Okay, so I am now done planting all the plants here, which, it looks cool, but there's something missing, obviously, and that is botanicals. So I'm going to be adding a bunch of botanicals, so like leaves. I have a bunch of like nuts and stuff that I've boiled. That will be cool. And then, sorry, I just got a text. And then that's pretty much it, like sticks and stuff. And I will be putting that all over, and then I can add the gecko. All of my botanicals I collect locally in like a wooded area, so then I don't have to worry about pesticides or anything, and then I boil them to make sure there's nothing living inside of them and that they're safe. And then I had to go through and correct any botanicals if they're like sitting on top of the plants and stuff, and make them all look nice. After doing that, since the dirt that I had added was kind of dry-ish, I added some more water. Okay, so I cleaned up around here, and I put all the stuff away, and I'm now done. Also, as you just saw, I added water. I sprayed it down, so now it looks pretty nice. And the one thing that really sold me on having this piece here is that I don't have to wipe down any of this area back here, because you can't even see it. And also, that's like a really good hiding place for the gecko, is to hide back there. There's actually a lot of space, and then under there as well, and then behind this area. So there's lots of hiding places for the gecko, and with these plants there's lots of hiding places. And then as well, the plants, I kind of expected them, I kind of expect them to get trampled. So I actually kind of tested them out here, and this is a much bigger gecko, like way bigger, probably a few times the size. And as you can see, these plants are still doing really well up here with the bigger gecko being able to get on them. So I'm not too worried about Teddy hurting them. And I'm actually going to be moving this right here, and then eventually, actually, this will probably be going either here again or down here. It depends. If I get a light system right here, like a smaller shop light or something, then I'll probably put this tank right here and that tank down there, because this area is supposed to have a 55-gallon during the winter. So the original plan was to have this here and then that there, but now I have a leopard gecko, so it'll be going here. Whatever it is, I'm gonna have to have a light fixture here, and then maybe here as well, probably for the leopard gecko tank, because I have all these plants for the leopard gecko. Anyway, let's add in Teddy. So he's over here, and this tank, just take off the top. But I don't like having the tanks all the way close to the ground like that with the crested geckos, because I like to be able to step, like, this is like the perfect height for a leopard gecko. I mean, crested gecko, sorry. This is the perfect height for like a crested gecko tank, in my opinion. Like, I can reach in real easily, and since I reach in and hand feed them like every other day, that's pretty important to me. So, in my opinion, this is the best height, or even a 30-gallon here, which would be just like 2 inches more. It'd be fine. But this is basically, I think this 31-inch stand, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's like the normal height for like counters and stuff. Well, actually, I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure that's around here. But as you can see, here's Teddy. Luckily, he didn't poop in the container. And then here he will be going into a much bigger tank. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't. He's just gonna crawl in on his own. He's kind of crazy, like he'll jump kind of randomly, so I'm trying to get him in and not jumping around, because like he'll jump to nothing basically. So here, I'm gonna try to get him. I kind of wanted him to go into the plants and stuff. So there he goes. There he is. And before he jumps, I'm just gonna put this right up here. So now Teddy's in and he can explore his tank as he pleases. And I'm just gonna leave you guys with some cool shots of the tank. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like it down below. If you have any comments or concerns, put in the comments below. And if for more content, then subscribe. Also, you can visit my Instagram, which is just Jonah Bowdle, nothing else, no spaces, and not capitalized. I post there about Teddy, Darwin, soon to be Beth, my leopard gecko, and then also mostly about terrariums. A lot of the time I will post just pictures of the terrariums and plants because I really like taking pictures of plants. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video.